Apparently, Buzz Lightyear has never seen the movie Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Lightyear, released in 2022 and is directed by Agnes MacLean, who is also behind such projects like Finding Dory and Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins. And this film is starring the voices of Chris Evans, Kiki Palmer, Dale Soules, James Brolin, Uzo Aduba, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., Efren Ramirez, and Taika Waititi. And a couple of weeks ago, I had covered all of the Toy Story films in hopes that I would lead up to me watching and reviewing the movie Lightyear, but I was unable to watch this movie opening weekend. It was Father's Day, life gets in the way, and all fun stuff, so I watched it now, and I'm reviewing it now, so cool. In 1995, a young boy by the name of Andy saw a movie that inspired him and his mom to purchase him the greatest toy of all time, and this is the movie that amazing toy is based on. Buzz Lightyear is a space ranger of Star Command who is awoken from hypersleep on board this big-ass ship that is housing an entire community of colonizers to explore a nearby planet that may or may not have intelligent life. However, shortly after landing on this planet, the local plantage of the planet, and everyone is marooned on this strange planet. And because the Hyper Lightyear crystal has been damaged, Buzz Lightyear and scientists are experimenting on trying to find the correct combination to reconstruct light speed so that they can get back home. The only problem, though, is that with each test, Lightyear slingshots around the sun and then comes back, and each test that he does, he goes forward in time 4 years. And that's really what the first half of this movie is them trying this over and over and over again, and it's almost like a montage, basically, of them trying to figure out, okay, what's the correct formula percentage to recreate this hyper-speed crystal, because apparently we don't have that already discovered and figured out before we send out a whole spaceship full of colonizers, just in case if something went wrong. We don't know that yet. So now we're experimenting. So when this film was initially announced, I thought it was a brilliant concept. It never even crossed my mind that the toy that we saw in Toy Story in 1995, Buzz Lightyear, was actually based on a movie, but that would completely make sense, because that's what a lot of the major mainstream action figures are nowadays. I mean, hell, look at all the Funko Pops that I have. They're all based on some type of comic book character or movie character or something. So the idea behind this movie, I think, is really cool. The execution, though, the script could have been better. Mainly in that our main character is doing a trial and error for the first half of the movie, and I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, stop it. Each time you slingshot around the sun to test the formula of this super hyperactive light speed crystal thing that apparently you don't know the composition of before you send out an entire spaceship full of colonizers. You don't know all that stuff yet. So each time you test it, you go forward in time 40 years, and he goes forward like 60 to 80 years into the future. That's a lot of failed attempts. And I want to sit there and just say, okay, stop. Just stop. Let's figure this out first before you get all bullheaded and you try it again. And I'm also confused too, because this movie supposedly was released in 1995. That's when Andy watched the movie for the first time. Apparently, though, the writers of this supposed movie weren't a fan of Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, where the crew of the Star Trek Enterprise does the exact same thing, just they're in a Klingon ship, but they do a little slingshot around the Earth to go back in time to go get whales. We have whales here because they need to bring the whales back to the future to save the human race from an alien that is destroying the Earth. Apparently they never saw that movie. Really, my whole issue with the movie could have been resolved if they would have just went forward in time maybe once, or they would have taken their time to figure out the formula of the crystal first. He slingshots around the sun, and then it works, surprisingly, but then he shoots forward like 80 years. Okay, that would make sense to me. But no, it's a frickin' montage of him just going up and up, that didn't work, now let's do it again, and we'll go around again and around again and around again, and we watch someone get older and have a family, have a son, and then have a grandchild. She's also a lesbian character, which I guess that was a major controversy of this film, which I am so sick and tired of hearing now when we see a same-sex couple on screen kissing. We're in frickin' 2022. Let's all grow up, people. That shit happens. When is that stuff going to be a normality for all of you people? Seriously. I do like how they make this character of Lightyear very bullheaded and very independent. Like, he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and the reason why they're marooned, he takes on the full responsibility of that being like his mistake, and in order for him to make up for it, he needs to be the one that saves everyone, and he needs to be the one testing all of this stuff. Really, it's a movie about mental health and how that's just not healthy at all, taking on the big bulk of responsibility when really we're all human. We all make mistakes. It's not all one person's fault. It's a lot of people's fault. So let's kind of just take a step back and take a breath and learn to forgive yourself. That's really the big message of this movie, is that you need to learn to forgive yourself because you deserve that moment of peace. And not just a moment of peace, you deserve just peace in your life, to not focus on the mistakes that you have made. And that's Lightyear's main struggle, and I really enjoyed. I really love Chris Evans' voice as Lightyear. Yes, Tim Allen is iconic as the voice in the whole Toy Story franchise, but this is the movie, so it makes sense that we do a recasting, plus Chris Evans is just like a fine, upstanding gentleman. Tim Allen in real life, he's a bit of an asshole. The major standout of the movie, though, is the robotic cat named Socks. Like, I want a Socks right now. I want a robot kitty that will live forever, and I don't have to worry about them going to the vet or having to worry about putting them down eventually later on in life. No, I want this robot cat who is so intelligent, who will play sleep sounds to help you sleep at night, who will shoot out little tranquilizer darts to buy you 5 minutes. I bought you 5 minutes. He had all the best moments whenever he was on screen. I loved it. You also get to see how Lightyear gets the suit that we see as the action figure. The action figure that we see in the Toy Story films is actually like the last suit that he wears in the movie, and it ends with him going on that mission that when we see Buzz Lightyear the toy in Toy Story, and he's saying he has to get back because he was just in Sector 4, and he has reports and news about Sector 4, that's the mission that they're going on at the very end of this movie. Oh my god, am I spoiling it? No, I'm not spoiling it. We all know what happens. There is a little bit of a rewrite to the history of Zurg. Like, he's not an emperor in this film. He's just Zurg because that's what all the robots that he has in his possession, that's all they can say. Like, they can't say his actual name, so they just say Zurg. That just sounded ridiculous coming out of my mouth. And I do like this little ragtag team of rookies that he doesn't want to instruct, but he ends up becoming friends with and helps make better space rangers from. I really enjoy the message of this film about mental health and not taking the whole burden of the world on your shoulders and not being so bullheaded, to allow yourself to say, yes, it was a mistake and now I'm going to move on, and allow people to come in and help you. It's okay to ask for help. And if we're talking about the 90s, that was something that was really unheard of when it comes to masculinity. At least for me growing up in the circle that I came up with. As a boy, you didn't show emotion. You didn't ask for help. You're a man, so you keep everything buried down deep and you fight through it. So with this movie supposedly coming out in 1995, having this message, I am not buying that. This is a 2022 movie disguising itself supposedly as a 1995 movie, and it's not working. Overall, though, it's a fine family film. Like, there's nothing in here that is offensive, nothing in here that is taking me out of it or is making me angry in any way. It's just the story, I think, could have used a lot of refinement, and we could have made different choices to progress this character and this plot along, as opposed to just watching them do a montage of trial and erroring over something that they should know already because they're scientists. They should know the formula to make the hyperspeed light speed crystal before you even go out into space, because when you go out into space, something always goes wrong. Have they not seen a space movie before? I'm gonna give Lightyear 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, if you've seen Lightyear, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you on the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.